Hey coin collectors, and welcome to the DC Coin Channel, and we have a spectacular find today. We borrowed a set of coins from a big time collector, and we have this coin right here, and it just looks just like the same old silver. It does look like it might be silver. Looks like the same old Washington quarter that we've had around until they changed it. So this is a 1964. Let me see, this one looks pretty good. You turn it over in the back. Maybe this one's a little bit better. Certainly great detail on the feet and the cross ribbon on the arrows and the arrows here. Let's see what else we got here. Not so many feathers right at the legs, but a little feathering there. It says $quarter at the bottom, United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum. And guess what? This is it. This is the 1932, the first Washington quarter ever made. In 1932, they decided to change over from the standing Liberty quarters. This is the 1926. Liberty standing up here, facing to our right. And then it says, "In God We Trust" here, 1926 down here, Liberty at the top. And of course, the other side of the Liberty quarter is United States of America, pluribus unum, $quarter, and it's the eagle in flight with the stars around the outside and 3 stars here. So in 1932, they decided to change over. Nobody's really sure why they decided to change over because the standing Liberties, they hadn't even made any in 1931. They made in 1929, just before the stock market crashed and the Great Depression really took off, they made 11 million of the standing Liberties, 11 million of these. Then in 1930, they made about 7 million of these. 1931, they didn't make any at all. And then they decided to kind of get things going, if they could, on the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington. George Washington was born in 1732. They said, let's have a competition, get people excited about coins again, and let's, look at that. So it's 90% silver, of course. Let's have a competition, and guess who won? Well, the man who won was John Flanagan, and you can see his initials right there, J and an F. This is a 90% silver coin, as I said. John Flanagan did the front and the back. The mint mark on these coins would be right here. Because there's no mint mark on this coin, that means it's a Philadelphia coin. They made 5.4 million of these in Philly. In this condition right here, it's probably worth anywhere from $9 to $15. No, it's not in a mint state 60, I don't believe, but it which would probably be worth about $25 or more. You're going, well, if it's that old, why isn't it worth more? Well, one of the reasons it's not worth more is that they made so many of them. Another reason it isn't worth so much is because there just wasn't a lot of spending going on in 1932. And a third reason is that when they came out with a new coin, American collectors decided to get as many of them as they can. Not a great job here with the "In God We Trust," but pretty strong Liberty. One of the things they did on these coins was made a thicker rim. So it's really hard to see it, but this rim actually sticks out more on both sides. So you can definitely see it better here. So it sticks out way out over the coin. After a few years, they went to a rim that wasn't quite, it didn't have quite as much of a profile. And that's why you see some of these older coins just getting worn down and wearing in here, because the rim didn't stick up quite as much as the older coins. Now, so I said this is probably worth somewhere between $9 and $15. They also made a D and they made an S. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and they made a little under $500,000 each. They made 436.8 thousand of the Denver and 408,000 of the San Francisco. We will look at those somewhere down the road because we have those in the collection also. And those are probably worth in the 30s or 40s or even more just for one of those coins. All right, so what happens with this coin? Well, we don't actually have the eagle on the back anymore, do we? We have switched over, and this is actually the latest issue that came out right here. And this is Laura Fraser. And this, when we look at this coin, we see 2022P, Laura Fraser LGF. This coin actually has a design from 1932, which sounds weird. In 1932, when they did the competition, they said, we will have at least two main competitors, and these were the two designs that were submitted in 1932. Laura Fraser's, Washington facing to the right, and John Flanagan's, Washington facing to the left. Well, this coin won, but they decided in 2022 for the Year of the Women kind of coins, and there's going to be a few years of women's coins. This is a Maya Angelou, which is just, look at that. Oh my gracious. They decided for 2022, when they put women on the coins, that they were going to bring back the original design of Laura Fraser from 1932, 90 years later. So it took Laura Fraser 90 years to get hers on. It took John Flanagan 1 year, but now this is the newest coin. We tip it up, of course, and it's a copper nickel clad copper. And we've gone through a few iterations, of course, between here and here. We did of course, the State Quarter series here, and there's the New York one. We did the Washington crossing to Delaware with the last of the old John Flanagan designs on it in 2021. All right, well, there's our newer ones. Here's the old one, and it's old, but it is just a great one. And we will do more on the 1932 D and S, so look for them in the future. And the Mint Marco nose will be right down here underneath. Have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel.